So now we're looking at the hospitality planning cycle, and since this section is rather lengthy in general, I've cut up the different slides into different portions or sections to make multiple different videos in case you don't want to watch things over again or multiple times. Hopefully you're watching everything, but it's up to you. All right, first thing we're going to look at is what's the importance of planning? Why do we bother planning in the first place? Planning is something we do all the time, even in our personal lives. It's something that we set up so that we can be successful. The reason we plan is that if we don't know where we want to end up or what we want to do, how can we ever know we got there, or how can we ever know or how to get there in the first place? How do we make that happen? And so we plan for things. We plan for what we want to accomplish, what we want to be, who we want to serve, what the point of our company is, what the point of our organization is, and where we want to go. And based on how we plan that, we can then allocate resources. We can decide how we want to hire and train our employees. We can make sure that we have long-term success for the company. And so the way we do that, there's a generic way we look at that. And the way the book broke it down is they put this visual in there. So this is directly from your book, and I'm going to kind of walk you through this. This entire visual is actually set up in the different slides, and we break apart what these different things are. So if you look at the top part, the vision statement is the internal and external analysis. I'll talk about that in the next two slides. Then we have mission statement, which has both your strategic and your core competencies, which will be in another video. Service strategy overall. This is where we start to look at other sections or other chapters in this class. The service product strategy, that was part of chapter 1. The service setting strategy will be part of chapter 3, and the delivery service system will be in your second portion of this class, or for the second exam. We'll have chapters 9, 10, and 11, which will start to look at this, the delivery service. And then ultimately you have action plans. Once you've set up this strategy and you've decided who you are, who you want to serve, what your core competencies are, and what your ultimate goal is, what you're trying to accomplish, you then set up action plans or a way to accomplish those goals. Action plans simply give you a way of measuring your success and making sure you're accomplishing that through specific states. So for example, if you're looking at a strategy or a plan is to graduate from college, your action plans might be to set up an appointment to make sure you're taking the right classes. Your strategy might be to purchase your books and read for class so you can get good grades in classes, right? We have a number of different action plans that we're constantly reevaluating how successful they are so that we can make sure that we're reaching the ultimate end goal. So the first part of the analysis comes from the most basic generic lingo you'll hear in business anytime, and it's called a SWOT analysis, SWOT. The S and the W stand for strengths and weaknesses. The O and the T stand for opportunities and threats. So I'm going to actually break it down for you a little bit better. We hear that all the time, SWOT analysis, the S, W, O, and T, but what does that really mean? So the S and the W are actually from looking within. We're looking internally at our own company. It doesn't matter anything else that's going on externally or outside the company. It's just what's happening within us. What are we good at, and what are we maybe weaker at or need some more work on? Or what do we choose to be weak at? Sometimes it's a choice that we're giving up certain things to excel in others because you can't be great at everything. So you might decide that, I want to be really strong in hospitality. So I'm going to take a lot of classes in the hospitality program. I want to major in that, and that's my strength. Your weakness might be, I'm just not so great at those hard sciences, and I really don't want to put a lot of emphasis there. That's not where my interest is, and I want to be more specialized. Well, companies do the same thing. They might say, we want to be really, really awesome in customer service, but we're going to give that up and have more employees. What we're weak at maybe is price. Maybe we cost more than the competition, but we make up for that with our strengths. So you're just looking at who you are as a company, what you plan to succeed at, what you want to do, which is why this is part of the planning cycle, and this is the first step, is what are we good at, what are we capable of, and then what are we not so good at, and what do we need to do to make sure that those weaknesses don't prevent us from being successful long term. The OT section is a little more interesting in my opinion because I like looking externally. This is the external analysis, or looking around, the opportunities and threats. These are things that are going on external to the company. They could include competition, they could include political agencies, and a number of other things that I'm going to have an entire video about looking externally. And in fact, your assignment is going to be on the external examination of what's going on outside of the company to make sure that you have success. And part of that is also understanding who your customers are, how your customers might change in the future, and how you can serve them. So part of that looking around will be the external analysis, which will be your next video.